Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is David Walker. I'm with the Small Business Development Center, and we're very happy to have Lonnie Lott put on this webinar on email marketing made simple. A little bit about us. The Small Business Development Center is funded by your tax dollars. We're funded by the Small Business Administration in the state of California. We provide no-cost advisory services for small businesses and entrepreneurs. We also put on websites that are no cost to you. Websites, what am I saying? Webinars.
It's been a long day, I hear ya.
I'm entering my 11th hour of the day, so I apologize. But at any rate, we put on workshops, seminars, and these days we put on webinars that will hopefully be of benefit to our clients. And just so you're aware, we have experts on staff that can help you if you're interested in any of the SBA opportunities that are out there to help small businesses through the COVID crisis. They're offering economic injury disaster loans, paycheck protection program. They have a small bridge loan that's a little tough to get. And they have some debt relief opportunities for those that have SBA loans currently. And if you would like any help with those at all, feel free to contact us here at the Shasta Center in Redding. Our number, you probably have it, it's 530-222-8323. But right now, we'll let Lonnie take over. Lonnie, go right ahead.
Thank you, David. And good evening, everybody. It's been an exciting last couple weeks, and usually I'm doing my presentation live, but we are now doing them from our home offices, so it's a pleasure to be able to come into your home office tonight and talk about email marketing, one of my favorite subjects, very important in our marketing toolbox. And I hope that by the end of tonight, or at 7 o'clock when we're done, that you'll be a little bit more comfortable with email marketing, maybe want to start to look at that or expand it if you're already using it. I am very sensitive to where we are at today as small businesses across our two counties in terms of the crisis, the COVID crisis, and what it's doing and disrupting business as we know it, just in a short 4 weeks period. Seems like a lifetime. And anyways, when I'm talking about email marketing tonight, some of the presentation will be relevant to maybe in the future when we're back rebooted or reopened. But then there's also a lot that we can do while we are during this time, whether you're a non-essential business and you are not able to open your doors or provide services, or if you're even an essential business and you're just trying to keep up with the demand. I do have a couple slides about the sensitivity of email during this crisis and what should you be communicating with your customers. So with that said, as you can see on this slide, this is introductions. I am a Small Business Development Center advisor. Right now, I am with the Shasta-Cascade, servicing Shasta and Trinity County. I have been working with small business development centers all throughout my practice of over 20 years as a consultant. I am a self-employed 1099 consultant. So I'm right there with you in terms of looking at some of these SBA resources that are available to all of the small businesses that are out there. My consulting practice focuses on downtown and economic revitalization and small business coaching. And like I said, I've owned and operated my own business for 20 years, and I have about 30 years in the industry. Prior to starting my consulting business, I did work for a bank for about 15 years. So I'm feeling their pinch too, as well as a business advisor. So I know that we can't interact verbally during this webinar. I really love in-person seminars and workshops. I love the dialogue that goes on between the attendees. We learn a lot from each other. We're networking, we're sharing. I know a lot about email marketing or marketing in general, but I am not always the expert. And sometimes in our room, we find that you are practitioners, small businesses that are using some of these tools have learned some tips. And so tonight, we are not going to have that ability, but we do have our chat box. And if you're familiar with Zoom by now, your chat box would be along that ribbon along the bottom. And you can hover over that more and you'll see chat. And if you could just type in there, your name will automatically come up. So I will see that. But if you could just kind of type in there the role in your business. Are you a business owner? Are you an employee? Are you a manager? The type of business that you're engaged in and how many years you've been in business. And just take a minute to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my video off so you don't see me during the entire presentation. And do we have anybody out there? Do you see any chats coming through, David? Oh, there we go. Leslie, hello again. I think you joined me last night, so I appreciate you coming back for more. David, always a pleasure to have you as our host, as well as our fearless director that has been leading this charge at our Small Business Development Center. Hello, Frank. Nice to meet you. You're a brand new business. Well, welcome to the world of small business. You're a franchise. Great. Okay, well, we got a couple there responding, so I'm going to go ahead. We have a lot of material to cover tonight, and I always cut it close, but I want to make sure we have enough time for questions tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and start the presentation. So what is email marketing? I know that all of us are getting lots of emails that are coming into our email boxes, and email marketing is the practice of sending marketing messages to prospective and current customers via email in order to sell a product or service, educate about your services, the value they add to you, build loyalty, and especially now with the pandemic, it's really about just sharing information both about what businesses may be offering during this time of the crisis, whether they're open and able to deliver, or they have a e-commerce or social commerce website where you can order products from them. There are a lot of businesses are starting to talk about how they're protecting and ensuring that they're using the World Health Organization guidelines to keep their places clean, and as well as the safety for those essential business owners and their employees. So email is being one of the main ways right now that a lot of people are accessing information, both from the businesses that they support, as well as just wanting to know what's going on out there. Email is an owned, means we own it, digital marketing channel where the sender fully controls the content and distribution. That means you as the small business owner, you're the sender, you fully control that content and decide who you want to distribute it to, how, what time. Now there's third-party programs out there that assist us with developing those email marketing pieces, such as Constant Contact, MailChimp. There's a number of them. However, that digital marketing channel is where you totally create the content and distribute it as you want to, and to your customer base. Emails typically work best when used to send personal relevant messages to segmented list of recipients. And that's really what we talk about in terms as we get more sophisticated in our email marketing. You want to start to look at how can you divide up some of your customer groups or your target markets. Right now, we are, if you haven't started an email marketing list yet or database, first step is just to start to gather those emails. And as you do, you're going to want to think about, did I gather those when I was at a festival as a vendor or an art and crafts show or at a farmer's market? Or were those customers ones that were referred to me by somebody else? Or were they customers that I captured from some of my other marketing tools, whether that was from a Facebook post or from a print ad? Or were those summer visitors that were passing through my community and stopped in my store, and I asked them, how did they stop here? How did they hear about me? So we start to kind of really think about our email list as important to kind of then target or develop an email content specifically to that customer group's interest. And we'll talk a little bit more about the power of your email list. So why is email marketing important? Well, it has a very high return on your investment. It is the highest of majority of the type of marketing tools that are in our toolbox, even more than internet display, even more than ESO. It's about, has about a $40 return. For every dollar you spend in an email marketing campaign, you get about a $40 return on that. Now, that's an average, and that can be really a kind of a sliding scale depending on how sophisticated your email marketing campaign is, but that's a big high return. Email is incredibly effective as driving sales. Right now, we're not seeing a lot of that because of the sensitivity of COVID-19. A lot of businesses are closed or temporarily closed, but we are still seeing some of our national chains and our larger businesses still sending out emails. If you subscribe to them and you receive them in your box and you open them up and not just put them in the trash box like sometimes I do, you will see that there's a lot of incentives being offered to really keep e-commerce flowing, whether that's a deep discount or that's free shipping. A lot of our restaurants and bars are using their email database as a way to keep consumers aware of their delivery services. Are they on DoorDash? Are they using Postmates? Do they have a happy hour? I know right now in some counties, I'm not sure if all counties in California, but I know that some are able to also serve a drink with their to-go meal. So that's quite a big change. So trying to get that information out just to keep driving sales, to keep commerce, keep the cash flowing into their business during this unusual time. Email is one of the best channels for maintaining and strengthening customer relations over time. I travel a lot, or let's say I did travel a lot prior to March 10th in my consulting practice, because, as a consultant, I'm typically going to the client, and so I travel a lot. And when I travel, I make it a point to really seek out and visit the local community, whether that's a restaurant or a retail business, or just walk and see what is happening in these little communities that I work in. And I often pop in and I try to support local, and most of the time, 90% of the time, I am never asked if I'd like to sign up for an email, newsletter, email, anything. So there's a lost opportunity because I am a business traveler. Chances are that I may not come back to that community for a few months or even a year. But if I was signed up and I receive an email from that business that I said it was okay to use my email and send me something, it is then my choice whether I want to open it, unsubscribe, or read it, feel connected. And if I had a really great experience in that business, I am more apt to really look at what's going on with them. Do they have an ability for me to purchase through a social commerce or an e-commerce site? What's going on in their business right now? I mean, I connected, I was actually found that place of business, and now I'm connected virtually. So email marketing is very key for that. And I always like to tell my clients or my group that I'm talking to, don't make the decision for that customer that they don't want to receive an email. If you are getting emails, I challenge you more to then deliver what you said you were going to do. At least a thank you email. You got the email. It doesn't take long just to do a personal email to them from your business email address, thanking them for stopping in. I really enjoyed talking with you. Next time you're in our community, make sure you stop in and let us know if you have any other needs or questions about the product you purchased. Really, really goes far. Especially for small businesses, we can really personalize it. A lot of our larger businesses chains, even for you, Frank, who has the franchise business, that's one of the benefits of a franchise, is that maybe some of those built-in marketing tools like an email newsletter that you can drop your specific information in, very specific about your franchise, where you're at, and then you can send that out to your customer base. You don't really need to create a brand new template. You have it already, maybe from your franchisee. Then email isn't influenced by a third-party gatekeeper. What I'm saying here is your email belongs to you. It is your list. Third-party gatekeepers are like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. They can take down a program very quickly. You should have all of the social media platforms. They're very important in our business world these days, but you own that email list. It is yours. Now, if you use a third-party program to be able to use some of their templates, house your email list, such as Constant Contact or MailChimp or one of the others, you always have that list. You should always back up that list as an Excel, and they give you that ability to, or as a CBS format, and then you have that for yourself if something happens. I have been I do both Constant Contact and MailChimp for a client because I can access it from my computer. It's not sitting on my client's hard drive. It's sitting like it does, like Facebook does on some other program out there in the internet world. And only one time did I lose all my emails, and it was a mistake by someone else that had access. It wasn't because they took it down, but I was able to go back. I had a backup and retrieve all those emails and put it back up into that program. So continuing why it's important, increased website traffic. The email drops into a person's email box. Then they open it up and they are familiar with your business. They want to read what specials may be going on, especially if you're kind of consistent with your emails, like you're doing one once a month, or once every other month. Once a month would be great, but I know that with small business owners, we get pretty busy. So with emails, they'll go right into their email box and then they open it up and they can start to read, and you're always driving them back to your website or to a place where they can learn more about your business or download the coupons that you may be offering, or just dive deeper into further answers and questions, FAQ site on your website to learn more about your products. So it really does increase website traffic. Emails can also help drive, as you see at the top of this email from a kitchen store in Grass Valley, California, back on Black Friday in November. They also are promoting an event, but up in the top right-hand side, you see they have all of their social media icons. They're on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. So you can click on there easily from an email and find their Facebook page and read more. So it's helping customers navigate your other marketing tools. It is important for more intense brand awareness. When you are sending out and utilizing emails, you're always remembering that you want your brand to flow through all of your marketing tools, all of your marketing communication pieces. So again, with email, when it pops up, use your name, your business name. When they open that beautifully drafted email, it has your tone, has your personality. It's very consistent. It has your brand right on the top, your logo, your colors. So again, it helps with intensifying your brand so people are familiar with your business, especially if you don't come with like a franchised brand or a larger business brand and you're trying to get your product and business out in the marketplace. It's pretty competitive out there. So as you more consistently penetrate the market with all of your marketing tools, your brand then is going to become more familiar. And it allows you to engage with leads directly and consistently. Consumers prefer email. There's been studies, and I don't know who did the study, but there always is a study, that 72% of individuals who prefer to receive promotional content prefer it via email than any other type of venue. And this is becoming extremely true with a lot of our younger generation, especially millennials, Generation Z. Everything's on the mobile. I'm even finding myself, I'm a baby boomer, and I'm finding myself more and more keeping my discount that I may want from, let's say, Office Depot, because where I live, I don't have an independent office supply store, unfortunately, so I have to go over to the big box. And I'm on their rewards, right? I sign up for their reward system. I get those points, then I get that certificate that gets dollars off, keeps me coming back to that store. And then, because I go through a lot of ink on my printer, so when I go back there, it's really conveniently on my mobile, but I receive the messages through an email. Whether it's a personal email that comes from them saying you've just earned some rewards, or it's sitting there in their monthly email blast that comes branded, that talks about all the specials, the rewards, the discounts, the senior discount on Wednesdays from 4 to 6. All of those things can be communicated very easily and dropped right into your customer's email box, so then they can link on it, and it's personal and it's instant. Email marketing has a lot of features, especially when you start to dig down into segmenting them, creating different types of email pieces, whether it's a monthly newsletter or a sales piece or a thank you. I'm even seeing it now with COVID-19. A lot of the CEOs are writing just very private personal messages to their customers, letting them know what they're doing, what they're offering. So this has been an important time for businesses to reach out to their customers and let them know how they're supporting them during this challenging time. And you don't have to think about creating some deep discount or something. A lot of it's just our customers just want to know we're still out there, and you just want to communicate with them that you are here for them and how you're supporting your employees, your business, your community, especially if you're supporting, if you have some time on your hands because your business might be closed, and you might be volunteering for a local charity that you believe in their mission. You can talk about that. So the features that are typically in a third-party program that make it probably easier to use for a lot of small businesses. That's why they were created, like Constant Contact or MailChimp or some of the other ones, is that you can just drop your information. They have a lot of templates in there. Then you can schedule, and then you can determine which list you want to send it out to. It does take time. So it may be very affordable, but it does take time. And right now, if you have a little bit of extra time on your hands, you might want to go in and start researching some of these these programs, and or start to just think about sending out a personal email to your customer base. But it's very affordable, but there is a little bit of a learning curve, how you get the images in there, what am I going to say, just like a Facebook post, just like an Instagram post. It does take time from you or your marketing manager, if we have one. I don't know about you, but I'm everything. I'm the owner, the marketing manager, the janitor, the sales rep, and then deliver the services. So yeah, it's a very affordable tool, again, like some of our social media platforms, but it does take time. I put up here on the right-hand side of our screen, this is the Small Business Development Center, our center's email that just went out, and it's great piece. Right there in the front, it's talking about what are some of the SBA loan opportunities, a direct link to join that webinar that is open questions and answers every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then coming down there, all the free workshops. And right there, you can go on and register. Really convenient, personal, and instant. And of course, people sign up for this. This, again, isn't anything that we just send because you are in our email database. You've given us permission to send this to you, and you always, as an individual, on any email marketing piece you get, you have that disclaimer at the very bottom for unscribing. And you will see who unscribes to your emails in your metrics or your insights, so you can kind of monitor that. So the first thing when we start talking about email marketing is like any of our marketing efforts, because again, it may not be a lot of money, you know, everybody else is doing it, you hear the value, but you've got to really think about the goals for your email marketing. And I encourage folks, my clients, my small business owners that may be just starting out, don't go, you know, think strategically and make it manageable. So is your goal in the very beginning, stay connected or reconnect with customers? And right now, through the COVID crisis, that's what we're seeing is a lot of emails, especially the first 2 weeks, in the last 2 weeks in March, when everything was just, you know, rolling so fast, we didn't know what was up or down. And then we had the stay-at-home order, and then we had the shelter at home, and the small businesses were closing, and that were non-essential, and a lot of it was just like suddenly, how are we connecting with our customers? What do they know? If they're not driving by my business because they no longer can, go there that way to work because they're working at home, how am I connecting to them? How am I keeping them abreast of what we're doing with our business, as well as letting them know, you're there. Again, we talked about, is one of your goals for increasing brand awareness? Is this a time to kind of look at developing another marketing tool that you can then help with your brand and what products and services you offer or will offer? Promote value-added incentives, loyalty programs, and discounts. Email marketing is so powerful for this type of goal. Now, right now, it's not probably the time that a lot of our businesses are pushing that out. Loyalty programs, trying to get them to sign up for this or that, a monthly subscription, other than if a restaurant was signing up for DoorDash or you are as an individual. This may not, right now in the next few weeks, may not be the time to really focus on that goal, but down the road, as we reboot, we reopen, and we get into our, especially if we're a bricks and mortar, and depend on that last quarter of the year, we may use this. Email marketing might be your goal. Achieve a higher quality of sales, drive in-person sales. A lot of times, like this is on the right-hand side screen, Frances is a little local business that I really like. She is a boutique retailer that specializes in jewelry, some brand clothing, like she carries Tom, she carries some Free People, but then she carries a lot of off-brand. She has stationery, she has a little kitchen corner, she dabbles in some men's stuff, and it's in a very small space. She's very powerful with her email marketing, and this is when you sign up to get her email, you get an additional 20% off online if you order online. And then she also, you can shop directly from her shop, or you can go right to her store, just depending on how convenient it is. So this will drive people, keeps us reminding us that Frances is open when she is open, and that she has that beautiful little store where you get that extra personal customer service. She'll wrap the present for you in her really unique branded wrapping. But you can also shop her online if that's more convenient for you. Email marketing, very powerful for creating that loyal fan base. And we're seeing a lot of that with our restaurateurs right now during this challenging time, as well as some of our closed storefronts in terms of them selling e-commerce if they were set up for that, and or using social commerce sites like Facebook Marketplace or Etsy if they are creative from the creative community, or using Amazon, any of those commerce sites. So building your email list. I cannot tell you how many times I talk to clients, especially if they're starting up. If they're just doing their business plan or they're in their first year. Okay, you just need to get permission from your customers for an email. Have a guest book. I have a friend, a colleague who, she's a friend too. Oh my God, all of my colleagues are my friends. Her business, she created a little card and it sits right at her counter and it says, would you like to sign up for email marketing? And they say yes, and they just, fill out their name and then their email. You always want to make sure they print correctly, because it can be kind of hard sometimes. If you're out doing a an event and you're a vendor, I've seen where people are bringing their iPads and they're having them sign up for email right into their, into their Excel program or into their Constant Contact program or just onto a Word doc. So it's already typed. Then you just have to copy and paste and put it into your database. So you want to set up a pre-launch page. And this would be for either your website for sure, or if you're going to push it out through your social media campaigns, there's places for you to then also have it there. But all of, give the opportunity. Now, in most of the small businesses that I work with, I don't see a lot come through this channel unless you're really pushing out and having people come back and land onto your website. Best way of getting the emails is at the close of the sale, whether that's the close of the sale for a service-based business and you're preparing their invoice for them and you ask for it right there. If you're a bricks and mortar store and they're walking in, you'd always capture it. You can put it right into your QuickBooks program. You can ask for it right there. And most of the time you just have to tell folks, I have an email marketing. I send out maybe a quarterly newsletter and some some of my promotions are, would you like to be part of that? And don't take it personal if they say no. Just say, okay. Well, then I'd like you to make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, because I also will then communicate when I have some of these discount events going on, or however you say it. And you need to train when we're back operating on all 4 cylinders and you have your staff back in place. Or your partner who is, a lot of times it's our partners who are our other part of our business and are helping us. You need to train them. You need to provide some guidance around how they ask for emails and what they do with them. If we don't ask, we're never going to get them. And I hear time after time, well, I meant to start it a year ago, but I didn't do it. Or even better, I have this whole drawer full of all these business cards that I've gotten and asked for their emails and this list, this guest book that's 100 pages deep. What do I do with it? Oh my gosh, I would just love to get a hold of that person and we could really do something. So the pre-launch is on your website, but really it's about asking when you're interfacing with that customer. Here's where you could, if you forgot to get it, or you just were so busy and you couldn't get the email address, send a thank you, again, a personal thank you email back to them. Make sure you brand your signature block in your personal email from your business, and say, and also I didn't have a chance to ask you if you were interested in signing up for our newsletter, our email campaigns. Are you interested? Just let me know yes by responding and I'll add you to our list. Really simple to do. If you're too embarrassed to ask them in person, then ask them as a follow-up email. Collect emails from sales and customer accounts. And again, that's where we have to ask. We put it into our QuickBooks, or we take it off of our purchase orders or their checks. They don't have emails. But you need to kind of think about, where is that point where I'm making this sale and how do I capture it then? When you're networking, always ask fellow businesses, other individuals, gosh, what a great meeting you. If you have a business card, would you be interested in letting me add you to my email list? Put opt-in forms across your site. You can do it on your header, footer, your blog or resource page, on your about page, on your website, a pop-up form. You've seen them all. Everybody's doing it. And the value of using a program that has that built in, it's really easy to do. It's one of those features. You just have to figure out where you want to position it. And the beauty of that is once they sign, it populates your email list. Accelerate signups with lead magnets, offer exclusive deals and discounts. That was like what Francis did. If you sign up, you get a 20% discount. Here is Ace Hardware's rewards, an exclusive offer and expert tips if you sign up. We use Ace Hardware. And we get a little coupon every month. If you spend $20, you get $5 off. Does that mean a lot? Maybe not, but it's one of those ways that we're staying connected. They're sending it out. If we're needing to make a purchase and we're discount users, we're going to take that in. But also in that email, they're talking about the new products that are coming in maybe for the season, any other sales they're having. Ace Hardware does a lot of different things, just like all kinds of businesses. These guys are a buying pool. They're not a Home Depot. These are Ace Hardwares that are independently owned, and then they have a group buy or a co-op buy. So they will be showing in the season wheelbarrows, and they sell potted soils, and they sell hoses, and they sell 1.5 million different types of nuts and screws. So they are more of your typical smaller hardware store. You can run sweepstakes or a contest to help build your email list. And then ask for emails in person, and I've already talked a lot about that. So what type of campaigns, and that's what we call them, campaigns, or what kind of email should I be thinking about? And there's really a lot of different ones out there. I've just kind of taken the top ones that I think are very specific and should be right on the top of your list. The beauty of email marketing is there's a lot of tutorials out there, YouTube's out there, like mini YouTubes, like we're going to be doing someday, and doing little snippets of how to best practices for different areas. And I know there's a lot of YouTube videos out there that Constant Contact puts on, or MailChimp, or any of those other ones that you're familiar with. And they'll talk about the different features and aspects. So if you're a YouTube worker, if you're a YouTube watcher, hard for me to say tonight, and you find that type of interaction better than just reading it, a lot of them are doing it that way. So the first type of campaign that I really like to encourage businesses to think about is to create some kind of regular correspondence that kind of has a regular feel to it. And that would be your newsletter, or we call it e-newsletter. It's a regularly distributed email campaign. And this is valuable if your goal to keep in touch with your existing customers. And I say start here and think about it in buckets. Just maybe an opening, a little bit of a blog, or a little bit of a narrative from the business owner, and your pictures there. You're showing, I don't know, you can tailor it to your personality. And then you can tailor it to your colors and to your logo and to your font size, but really figuring out the content, just like with our social media channels. What is the content? Well, it even is a little bit bigger and broader when we start talking about newsletters. You may want to always feature a new product or service. You may want to feature tips from one of your employees. I've seen that with bookstores where one of their employees will talk about their favorite books, right? Here's Mary's picks for April. You will always want to talk about any specials or promotions that you're having, whether that's a seasonal tie-in. So you just want to kind of really think about that content. And if you create it, and you're thinking about sending it out quarterly, and you create that upfront template, then you can just change the content, keep the template in place, change the content according to what you want to push out. And an e-newsletter is much more information, beefier, bigger, more value added than, let's say, just an email about maybe a holiday sale that you're participating in or you're going to be offering. That's more of a one-time promotional email blast. So use a familiar from name in your email from, so they know. Break your newsletter into chunks. I kind of said that. Use dynamic content to personalize your newsletters. Maybe you might want to say, you know, put a testimonial in there from a person that visited your business or some. Hold on just a second, okay? I'm going to tell my husband he has to be quiet. John. Sorry. Okay, I don't have kids, but I have a husband home. Add compelling images and visuals for every piece of content. People like pictures, we like colors, you know, and you, again, maybe take them. You got to have that content again. Include benefit-focused headings and body copy, and then add a predominant call to action button on every piece of content. Email us, download this coupon, go to our website, always driving them to the website, all of those kind of call to action. The second type of campaign is your marketing offer. And a marketing offer email is essentially any campaign you send with the goal of driving a direct response. Bring this in, receive this, sign up now, receive this. And a lot of times right now we're not thinking about direct sales, but we are, sorry, my husband's moving through the house here with his webinar going, battling of webinars. So anyways, think about your marketing campaign being to drive those sales, get people into your stores or on your e-commerce sites or calling you for an order. And right now we're backing off on that during this crisis, but you really kind of want to think about that as you reboot, reopen, and especially when we start really getting back to somewhat of a normal business life again. It presents a product or discount offer. This can take a number of different forms, including a campaign showcasing some of the latest stock and encouraging people to purchase, a campaign offering a discount or a special promotion on your products or services. And because you've probably signed up for a lot of emails, just kind of go through your email box and pick out what you like about different emails and think about how it might translate for your business. You know, as a business owner, we have a lot of skills and a lot of different ideas, but sometimes what we find, what we're natural at, and we gravitate towards that, sometimes maybe it's not thinking about how to be a creative and get that email. Reach out right now, virtually, to a fellow colleague, to a fellow business that you know has done a great job on their email marketing, and pick their brain. Have them talk to you about what works and what hasn't worked for your business, for their business. What program are they using? How did they develop their marketing piece, their campaign? Maybe even offer to put your business in their email marketing as they're sending it out, as showcasing a fellow business who is in you know, the Reading area, the Trinity County area, Mount Shasta area, just kind of maybe piggybacking. We're in this all together, and businesses are cross-promoting everyone. So think about that during this time. Announcement. Send to your subscribers announcing a new product, feature, or service. This can be very key when we come back online in terms of coming back into doing business a little bit, whether we're a storefront and we can open up again, or we are able to become an essential business again and not a non-essential. And you're going to see a lot of this, announcing new hours, announcing that we're open for business, and what we're doing to make sure people are safe, as well as our employees are safe, as well as our location or our business practices. And you're seeing more and more of this about COVID-19 coming through, about what businesses are doing. And we've almost like starting to ignore it. I hope not. I'm seeing a lot of commercials from those national chains or those national businesses that have deeper resources to do those kind of commercials on ABC or CBS, on national networks. And even on the, they're starting to come into the streaming, and they're doing commercials about how they're ensuring that their drive-through is clean and is safe. So we're going to be using email marketing or emails to really announce that. And then while the sharing of information is the primary goal, the email may have the added benefit of driving people back to your store or website where they can make a purchase. Again, don't need to say more about that. This little email is on the right-hand side, was the owner of Tessa's Kitchen Store for a number of years, and he retired. And this was him telling everybody goodbye. It's announcing that they're going to have, he's retiring at the end of the year, welcoming the new owner on. And I just found out that they just closed escrow on February 27th and started their actual operations as the new owners on March 1st. So bless their hearts. But anyways, this is a way that they were using the announcement. And then, of course, right now we're not doing much of this, but if you are an event email, an initial event invitation, invite your contacts to your event. I know Facebook has that event feature, but you can also use it through your email marketing, announcing where you may be. If you take your business on the road and you participate in any trade show or local chamber business expo, then you can announce that you're going to be there. Stop by your booth, say hello. You already have their emails. They already know about you. Now you're just extending another way to see them and make a sale. Banks do this a lot when they're going to be participating in a business expo. Often, it's a little harder for banks to get out and really reconnect. So often we'll see banks and more of those professional type businesses participate in these kind of business expos. RSVP, you can do an RSVP confirmation, a reminder email can be sent out to inactive contents to remind people you've got your original invitation, but they hadn't responded yet. And then follow-up email, event email after the fact. Now, some programs will kind of tier these. They're a little bit more sophisticated. But again, as a small business, if you just send it out and announce where you may be in an event, once we can start being in those places where we are not at a stay-at-home or shelter-at-home order, and our social distancing is a little bit more relaxed. I went to this Innings Festival over here in Arizona, and I received a number of emails from this very sophisticated system where it gave me how to use my wristband, what food vendors were going to be there, what was the lineup. This is a musical festival. What's the lineup? What else are the other activities? What could I bring in? What I could not bring in? I am not a festival goer anymore. This one was one I was going to go to because one of my favorite bands was playing. I had a blast at it. But all of that information was really helpful because you couldn't bring in a backpack that was bigger than a certain size, but you could bring in a water bottle, and they had purified water bottle fill-up places. So I got all of that information from my emails. Really key. Very, very informative. Other types of campaigns are order and shipping confirmations, customer feedback emails. Again, we're seeing more and more of the kind of robotic ones that just kind of come in after you've gone to a hotel or you purchased from a store. Rate us from 10, 1 to 10. How'd we do? We'd love to hear from you. When it comes from you and you're a smaller business with a much more genuine and deeper relationship with your customers, it's going to have a lot more impact. When you ask for feedback emails, and after our webinar tomorrow, they're going to be sending emails out to you, and I'm hoping you really are going to give me a good rating once we get through all this information. It really does bring value back to that business, that they can use that feedback to make some changes, use it as a testimonial. If we need to do any kind of success stories in our newsletters, or could you talk about how you use this product? Those are all really key. Subscriber only discounts. A lot of campaigns that come back, if you subscribe to a certain loyalty program with the business, it always comes back in from an email. Seasonal promotions, welcome email series. Oh my gosh, would love to have a welcome series, like thank you for signing up for our e-newsletter. We'll be putting that together in spring. Right now, I just want to thank you for stopping by or for purchasing something from our website, or picking up a dinner. Hope you enjoyed it. I mean, these go really far. Again, personalizing them, being genuine and authentic is very key. And then second order emails. So how do you create your first campaign? Well, carve out some time and just jump in with both feet. Structure your campaign for easy reading. Maybe in the beginning, it's going to be a less wordy. It should be more visual, have some deep content, some pictures, color, and don't worry about just filling it up page after page after page. A lot of emails are short, maybe 3 blocks of content, and that's a good start. That's manageable. Use images and visuals to boost that engagement. Personalize your email campaigns. Think about right now, a personal message is very important. Back to images and visuals. If you have a YouTube channel, or you have a place where you have video on your Facebook, or you have it sitting on your website, even more important, talk about that, for our, link on this link to see a live demonstration of how to assemble that whatever, or how to use this piece of equipment. Or now that you've purchased this gift, link onto our website and we have a little bit live video of how to creatively wrap it and give it as a gift, all kinds of ways. So you're pushing them back to your website or your Facebook or your social media channel platform. YouTube is embedded, and now there's some live interaction there, and they will, and you will see this in your metrics. You'll see how many click-throughs you had, how many subscribers you had. So ensure your campaign is relevant to every subscriber. Geographic location, useful for promoting store-specific information and targeting specific markets, while ignoring out of location subscribers where the message won't be relevant. Again, this is where we're talking about being very strategic when you get that email. Was it a traveler coming through? Was it a referral? Was it one of my top 20 most loyal customers who drive 80% of my sales? Those are the ones that may get a different email, and inviting them back for that personalized in-store, in-business special preview for all of my loyal customers. You're not going to send that to the person that was visiting from out of state or out of the area. You may say that for an email that says, hey, during the week of whatever, we are going to be having this promotion. We'd love to see you come back. So you got to kind of think about the geographic location and how you would create and use those emails and how you would then distribute them. Demographics, again, age and gender ranges. If your target market is of a certain age, you're more of the baby boomer, your products go for more for that, then use the type of imagery and language, and you're going to then, we don't ask for age in our emails, but you could kind of maybe guess. If you're doing business to business, you're a B2B, and you may be that, Frank, you may be selling to other places that are purchasing your product to put in their storefront. A B2B email is going to be very different than a B2C, a business to consumer. So again, you need to think about that as you create your campaign. Market, we talked about that. Past activity, useful for segmenting your subscribers by past open and click-through behavior. When you put out your first email, and let's say you've had 1 or 2 or 3 under your belt, maybe it's now July 2021, everything is kind of settling back. We're doing back to being able to go to large events. Visitors are back on track. I don't know when it'll be, but let's just say we're rolling it forward a year. And then you're going to go and say, okay, these subscribers haven't really opened up in a while. Why? And you may want to send an email out to them saying, gosh, now that you know, we're rethinking our vacation plans, or you're going to be doing a stay vacation, why don't you stop by the store, stop by my business, and we'd love to see you. Really targeted. And then customer data, useful for e-commerce brands who want to send targeted campaigns to their VIP customers, as well as customers solely targeting customers in danger of being lost who haven't made a purchase from you in a long time. This is again where your email marketing is very valuable for retaining and growing and keeping and bringing back customers for whatever reason may have been lost to a competitor. All of this information can be put in your QuickBooks if you use QuickBooks, which I would recommend down the road. But that information can help you kind of look at that customer data. Ensure your campaigns are aligned with your colors, your fonts, and your branding. Talked about that. And that all of that branding is incorporated into your email marketing. That's the same as all the touch points that your customers have a consistent experience with your brand. Again, it just that's what branding is being consistent with your look, your feel, your tone, your personality across all of your marketing touch points. Make it easy to convert and optimize for all devices. Many programs now, I know that for my MailChimp clients that use MailChimp and Constant Contact, it gives me a view for both desktop and mobile. Because sometimes that image looks really good on the desktop, but then suddenly on a mobile device, it fills up the whole screen and you got to scroll down and it's inconvenient. So you just kind of want to think about that, kind of run through that. Send an email to yourself, open it up on your desktop, open it up on your mobile, open it up on your iPad, look at it, see how it feels. Is it all optimized? Is the format working well? Is it messy? Proof. Give it to somebody else to proof. Send a draft to them to preview. Make sure all the links work. You want to embed links into your email because those click-throughs are very key if you're cross-promoting an event that's happening in your community or another business, and you want to make sure that the URL is embedded in your email and that it works. Check it out. Run through it. Run through it once, run through it twice, give it to your biggest critic in your household and have them run through it. Strategically time your campaigns. How often and what time they are delivered is important. Do your emails follow a promotional or editorial calendar? Planning your emails helps you avoid waiting too long between sends, or worse yet, flooding subscribers with too much content. At least monthly, you should be sending out some type of email marketing piece. Maybe it's a newsletter one month, the next month it's a welcome to all of the new businesses that, or excuse me, customers that have signed up. Maybe the third month is a marketing piece and you're just announcing a special that's going on, or a special event you're going to be participating in, or an open house or a reboot, whatever it is. And then you're back to your fourth email, and now it's time for another e-newsletter. If you could do monthly, I would be so very proud of all of you. And make sure that you get my email. You have it, or you will have it when I send it to you. And that I do want to subscribe to all of your email marketing. I want to see it. I want to be part of it. And it's, you know, it's key. So with those type of third-party programs, like Constant Contact or MailChimp, they do allow for scheduling, just like your social media platforms. If you're using Hootsuite or any of those that schedule everything across your dashboard, everything across all of your things so they come out at different times, those schedule too. Schedule your e-marketing. Send more than promotional content. Come from company information. And these could be like the blocks or the pockets or the buckets you want to think about for your first newsletter. Career opportunities may not be happening right now. Any awards that you received, behind the scenes content, eventually new staff. Products, updates, and information like how-to content, product videos, upcoming releases, value-driven content like infographics, industry studies, survey results, recent blogs. So for the value-driven content, all of you probably belong to a industry, a association, or of course you are probably belong to some business association, or you're just searching what's going on in your industry and you come across a study. As long as the study is a legitimate source and you feel comfortable, it really adds value to your customers, and it's not like, oh, I don't believe this. You can snippet that and put it into your e-newsletter as a way to build value around what's going on with whatever your industry is. What are some of the trends? What's important, why, you know, like I was thinking, if you're an insurance agent, you know, how much coverage, you know, the studies show that folks are typically need this kind of coverage. I mean, a lot of that is where you can get it from a third source. Program focused content to really humanize your brand, like new hire bios. You may eventually want to showcase an employee in each of your newsletters. I know one of the newsletters that I do for one of my clients is a nonprofit, and we have 25 board members help me, and that's a lot of content right there. I can get a picture of them, I can do their bio, it's like pulling teeth from them, but it adds really solid human focus. Now there is a face and a name behind that list of board of directors that sits on our stationery. Executive interviews, customer feedback, testimonials, talked about that already. Support information like your FAQ updates, case studies, free resources. People love to click on links, especially if you are work for a nonprofit, or you have some kind of resources that in your industry about things that can help them. Download this book about how to do this. A lot of consultants use that kind of email marketing tactic. And then event information. And not only for events that you are personally participating in, but maybe it's from your downtown district, your community, your trade association, your chamber. You may want to share sometime in one of your e-newsletters about maybe some of the free webinars that the SBDC puts on, and you want to share that with your colleagues, because, you know, together we're stronger and everybody's interdependent. We may be independent businesses, but we're all interdependent. And I think we're seeing that really play out during this last 4 weeks. And then this last little link, you'll need to copy and paste that. I don't know if it'll come through the PDF when you get your slide deck tomorrow, but then paste that, copy and paste it in your URL, and you will have 50 content ideas for email newsletter. It goes through these little simple ones here much, much deeper. It's a good resource. Okay, let's see. No, I cannot find that arrow there. So when I was, of course, I was tweaking this today, or maybe yesterday, when I was thinking about this webinar and how I wanted to kind of approach emails during the COVID-19. Very sensitive time in all of our lives right now, and scary for many of us, frustrating, overwhelming, stressful. I know our David, our director, you know, he's putting in long hours. We have a very thin in-person staff, or a very thin staff that's keeping answering all the calls. So some of the businesses were really hustling, because especially for essential businesses, because we're thin on our staffing power. So when I was thinking about this, I wanted to first of all talk about consideration. Well, first of all, the whole 2 slides is about consideration and tips for during the COVID-19. And what should I send an email about the COVID-19? When should I send it, and what should it include? So first of all, if you're going to send one out, you want to make sure that you have useful, meaningful information to share. Right now, our subscribers are being bombarded with emails about the crisis from their local supermarkets, pet store, doctor, everyone. So as a business owner and you're in charge of your marketing, you want to carefully consider whether to send your own email regarding the virus, or you want to send it via your business. For many of you, it may look like an official letter signed by the CEO of your company, or it's signed by you, the personal owner. Or in the case of Frank, you may have one that you've already sent out from your franchisee. And they have prepared that for you, and then you can personalize it. For others, it may look like a quick update to modify subscribers of up-to-date changes. So when should you send it out? Well, if your product or services are impacted by COVID-19, then your customers would probably appreciate an email update. So you want to have it useful. Don't send out an email just because everybody else is. Do it because you have some insightful and useful information to share. It could be tips on how to work from home, a reminder of virtual services you're offering, or an update on your returns and delivery options. It can be as simple as just acknowledging that during this hard times, we're right there with you. We are temporarily closed. We are working behind the scenes, so we'll be ready when the reboot comes, or reopening. Think, as hard as it can be right now, think about your customer first and your business second to determine what type of information you want to provide and what they would be happy to receive. If you have customers that may be sensitive to this crisis, like therapists, dentists, CPAs, you should be sending something out about an update. I know a lot of dentists are not taking customers right now. A lot of therapists are doing their sessions virtually. Here is my CPA that sent out, this is just a snippet, they sent out 2 very well crafted emails. And I'm going to tell you, you know, CPAs are not cheap, but what they sent out was so valuable that it really made me think, okay, that amount that I pay each year for them to do my taxes just what became a lot more valuable. So they sent one out that covered CARES Act summary for businesses, really deep information, a lot more than just what the surface is. And some of it applied to us, some of it didn't. And then also they sent out a second one, for individuals. What are some of the things for individuals? So for an individual, it would be like receiving that $1,200 per tax payer in your household, right? So they had one for businesses, because I'm a business, and then also I have one for personal, what it really meant, the impact was on your contributions for your IRA, all of those things. If you're a brick and mortar store, you should be sending something out if you haven't already. Telling them you're temporarily closed, and driving them to a place where they can follow along. If you're posting regularly on Facebook, you're cross-promoting other businesses on your Facebook page, or you're using your website, or you have a social commerce site, or you have e-commerce, you're pushing them through an email, drop in their email box of where they can continue to find out about what's going on. If your services have been impacted or changed in some way, that you should send out an email. If you are an approved essential business and you want to share how you're following the World Health Organization guidelines for your customers and employees alike, you should send it out. And you then can also tell, if you're in central business, if you have different hours, if you have delivery, if you're just doing how you're managing your business during this essential time. I know a lot of businesses are overwhelmed with phone calls. And maybe they're calling the bank, they're calling their CPAs, they're really needing to call the therapist. Maybe you're telling them that, please continue to call. If I can't take the call, leave a message. I will get back to you, or email me directly, and I will then answer you that way. We just need to know how to communicate during this time. So ways to make your COVID email more effective. I've already talked about useful content that's genuinely from the heart. Again, clear, concise information that you want to share. Draft emails that are easy to skim. When you're talking about COVID-19, think about, you don't want it to be like all fancy and buried and it's hard to navigate. You want the useful information so they can read it. Add a note about the virus to your existing newsletter or regular email blast. If you already have one going out, drop it across that banner across the top, and talk about where they can link to find out more about what you're doing, what services you provide. Maybe you have that over on your website. Maybe it's in your social media platform. Again, talking about that. Cancel existing campaigns that don't make sense for these times. If you had a pretty robust campaign, email marketing campaign, and you've got some campaigns kind of up in the queue and ready to go next month and the next month after that, look at them, make sure they're appropriate, change the content, change the narrative, cancel them for later. Put them in as a draft, don't send them out yet. Just kind of think a little bit forward. What would I be wanting to say in the next month? We will hope it's like you're getting closer to some more reality and we can open up again. But right now, in the next 3 weeks, just be sensitive that you're not sending something out that was meant for when we were operating in January. I've been kind of conscious of this, especially since I've been kind of putting these webinars together, sensitivity to the crisis. And there's still some commercials that are running out there. Most of them are changing to the, you know, acknowledge where we're at, the sensitivity, all the deals that the car dealerships are offering or whatever else is out there. But there are a few that sneak in, and, you know, it's funny because I would never have thought this before, but then I'm like, well, they're not really social distancing. They're awfully close together. So it's going to be in our minds for a while, in the consumers' minds. So we just want to be sensitive to it when we have our email visuals and we send out email content about that. Double check your automated emails. We talked about that. That's kind of like those that are automated that come out regularly. Avoid unnecessary calls for action. Think about that if this is truly going to be an email about COVID-19. And then monitor your deliverable matrix. That means with the increased volume that's being sent out, we've started to see changes in email filtering as email clients are trying to process all the incoming messages. So first of all, consider breaking up your sends, if you have a large email list, into smaller batches, having them come out, you know, every other day. And then monitor your inbox placement and complaints very closely. Any increase in complaints could impact your chances of reaching them again. I don't think people are really doing that, but it might be something just to, you know, you always want to monitor that inbox. Okay, that's my alarm. It says I have 10 more minutes, so I am right on target. So the last slide is measuring your success. Again, like everything we do with marketing, we want to build in the way, how effective are my dollars and my efforts in my marketing strategies. Is your list growing? And is it showing that you're getting, you know, more clicks through, more open rates? This is probably the one that people look at the most. And it's a percentage that tells you how many successfully delivered emails in a campaign were opened by subscribers. A standard open rate is 20 to 30%. If you're hitting higher marks for that, great. If you're a little bit lower than that, then we got to really look at your email and saying, why did I not have enough content that was relative? How could I beef that up so I can get into that 20 and 30% open rate? Click-through rates is a percentage of how many successfully delivered emails in a campaign registered at least one click. So a click is if you have embedded click here to read more, you have URLs embedded in your content and they clicked on that, that's a click-through. A standard click-through rate is generally 2 to 3 times the conversion rate of your online store, maybe 5%. Share, the number who forwarded your campaign to a friend using the forward icon in your email template. Make sure that forward icon works. Or you can share it via social networks like Twitter and Facebook. You can take your email and you can embed that email URL and put it out onto your in your social media post. And then revenue. Successful stores usually have about a 20% of the total revenue from their email channel. Okay, let me move on. I think we are at questions. Just a second here. And timer, I gotta tell my husband the timer is on. Okay, I am gonna go back. That was a lot of information I covered. Thank you guys. If you have any questions, because we don't have live interaction, if you have any questions right now or feedback, please find your chat box and then go ahead and type it in there. Or at any time down the road in the next couple of days, if a question pops in your head, you can always email Emily at norcalsbdc.org. Is that the right email, David?
Yeah, that's the one to send. Emily at norcalsbdc.org, or you can call us at that phone number.
Okay, great. I just put my video back on. I can't see myself, so, but I can, I know you guys can. So go ahead and type, you can send her, I have this question, or if you want more information about anything that I shared today, or you want to know more about the SBA loan programs. And I'm going to kind of hand over the mic to David and let him finish it up. He's going to tell you about feedback. And thank you guys so much.
Yeah. And if there are any of you that would like to meet one-on-one with Lonnie by phone, I suppose, unless you want to drive to Phoenix.
Oh, I do Zoom too. I do Zoom meetings.
You do Zoom too, yes.
Yeah,
But if you'd like
to
if you'd like to meet, just send Emily an email and she'll set up the time for you to meet with her or one of our other counselors. We have pretty much every imaginable business expert you could think of. If you think of a topic, we probably have access to an expert over that topic. We have, well, we had 70 or so counselors in the NorCal region. Now it's well over 100. So there are plenty of people that are all available to you at no cost. So please take advantage of that. It's free, and well, it's kind of free. We're paying for it with our taxes. So okay, I don't see any questions.
How will they get the feedback, David? Will you be sending out an email to them, or?
Yes, that's right. There's going to be, if you don't mind, we'll be sending you a feedback form. Please fill it out. It helps us with the SBA and it helps us maintain our funding. You'll be getting that. It'll either be a PDF form or it'll be a link to a SurveyMonkey thing. It'll take you a minute and a half to fill it out, and it would really do us a lot of good. So I appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
And let's see, I'm not sure what the next webinar is, but you can go to our website and find out.
I think we have the SEO one coming up, search engine optimization, and then I also have one coming up about redefining your email marketing. That's going to be much deeper into all of the social media and really much more targeted on thinking about what should be pushing out during this crisis, not just your COVID-19 information. So, yeah. Okay.
Great.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.